This is a garden video for 728 Hopkins. This is the front yard. Next to the curb there are southern magnolia trees, which are evergreen, but they drop leaves all year round. I pick them up from the plants because they can cover the plants. Between the sidewalk and the curb there's a little patch of hummingbird fuchsia, which blooms from summer until frost and can be cut back 2 or 3 inches high in December or January after it stops blooming. And it should be cut back so it can be bushier the next year. Interspersed throughout there are little clumps of these grassy things, probably grape hyacinths. They have little purple bubble-like clusters of purple flowers in the spring. And crossing the sidewalk against the boxwood there are irises, mostly purple and white, maybe some unusual colors too. They bloom when they get enough sun, usually in the spring. Most of the front yard is hummingbird sage. It has these beautiful pink flowers in the winter and spring. And along the edges of the front are yarrow with white flowers. The hummingbird sage and yarrow can take any amount of water, and they will look better if they are watered in the summer, but they will survive if they don't get much water. There's a little clump of penstemon that doesn't bloom very much because it doesn't get very much sun. There's a pink flowering currant that blooms early in the spring with clusters of drooping pink flowers. And there's also a cocktail grapefruit, which so far has produced only 1 or 2 fruits per year. And it does get some ants that farm aphids on it every so often, and you just need to wash them off with water and keep after them until they go away. Usually it has a lot of flowers, but most of them fall off. The other side of the front walk there is a black sage, another native perennial. Blooms in the summer, stays green all year. This plant is on a mound, and like most of the natives that are on mounds, they are sensitive to water when it's warm in the summer. They will get root molds if they're watered too much when it's warm, and so wait for a cool spell in the summer to water them, and water away from the trunk of the plant, water around the edges. The roots will find water. Both sides of the path to the driveway are clumps of heuchera, blooms with pinkish white flowers in the spring on tall stems. These guys, they're on mounds, but they can take any amount of water. They'll be fine. There's another little native under the lemon tree. It's a Meyer lemon. This plant is an evergreen currant, and it's evergreen. It has a really nice fragrance if you rub the stems with the leaves. It can take some water. In the pot there is a manzanita, Arctostaphylos nummularia. Put your finger in the soil a couple inches under a rock to see if it needs water occasionally. Let's see. Facing the street there are quite a few Cleveland sages. These have the grayer foliage. They have purple blooms, usually just in the summer, through fall. There is a transplanted St. Catherine's lace, a type of native buckwheat, that may or may not survive. We'll know in the spring if it survives. There's another sage here. There's a different sage, not sure what it is, in the front here. Next to it is a San Diego nightshade, which has purple flowers in the spring. On the edges there's a patch of Yerba Buena, a well-behaved native mint. Toward the sidewalk there's a patch of coyote mint, another Cleveland sage. Underneath it there's a monkey flower, which has burgundy flowers. And then over here there's another monkey flower with, I believe, yellow flowers. Next to that, an Artemisia, California sagebrush, not actually sage. Another Cleveland sage, and penstemon that blooms profusely with bluish purple flowers. Coming around to the driveway side, there's more yarrow along the driveway. It's being swallowed up by this other plant. It's Lysingea. It has light purple flowers, and it's there are only 3 of these, but they're taking over everything. Here's an old flower. The Cleveland sage. Here's another coyote mint. Let's see, this one with the reddish flower is a red flowering buckwheat. And there's a ground cover manzanita here. And I think that's it for the front. Now the plants in front of the mounds may need some, they can take as much water as they can get during the rainy season, but once it warms up they're really susceptible to molds in wet soil, and so you need to water them a little bit away from the trunk of the plant, and not when there's a heat wave.